Peace, family. What's going on? Um, I just wanted to make this video in regards to just some real conversation, some real rap. You know what I mean? This is not, you know, practically my original type of videos, um, and it may not even get a lot of views. And I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that because I rather represent the truth. I rather represent integrity and do it that way. A lot of these videos that you guys see, right? That you come across on YouTube are literally insane. You know, you're using people's names and stuff like that in order to get recognition and views and comments and things like that. It's like be creative, man. Use your own information, your own knowledge and things like that. You guys have enough intellect. You have enough I believe you have enough creativity to use your own shit. You don't need to continue to use other people's names in order to be um getting paid, I guess, monetized and stuff like that. And I get it, things are tight, you know what I'm saying? And you could use another check, you know, because I talk about this type of shit all the time. So I know you could use the money. Everybody be, talking that shit on YouTube, but when it comes down to that, those last few days of the month where they got to get them views up, man, they start talking shit and stuff about all types of people, and the videos get real reckless, and I get it. Like I said, it's nothing that you have to, illustrate to me or show me or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand where we're at. I understand how the economic system works. I understand who runs the economic system. Um, and I understand that, majority of people, chase the paycheck, week after week after week, because that's how the system was designed for us to do. And like I said, I could pull a list of 500,000 people that goes through the situations that I talk about on my videos, and I could provide proof. And if I ask the person that will want to combat and say, "Oh, you just need to work harder. You need to get off your ass. You need to, pray, to God, and do this, that, and the third," then I will ask you simply, how many people can you name on a hand, first and last name that you can name on a hand, that's extraordinary, that are not paycheck to paycheck, that can stop going to work every single day, every single year. I want you to name those 5 people on a hand for me, and then we can go from there. But the majority of people won't be able to do that, and like I said, I understand why. But let's get into it. So this video is to encourage the 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 average person to want to see the world, man. Um, I believe that the majority of the real knowledge, it lies in different parts of the world, and to me, based on the research and stuff that I've done so far, the major knowledge sits in um, what's considered today as Africa. Um, in the ancient times, it was called Kemet. I believe the majority of information sits there, but then obviously you got all the other continents, South America, and so on. And I believe that people should get out of this country to go and see these other places, because the monolithic structures and the illustrations and the things that the ancient people left a long time ago, they're representations of blueprints that shows the construction of so many things that we can actually use today in some form or fashion, in which they have already. And and like I said, I touch on these things about um the Kemetic, you know um ancient times of Kemet, because if you go to Egypt, what's now known as Egypt, you'll see that on the architecture and stuff like that, that they had these pre-planned blueprints of, construction, and you can see it still being there today after, 10,000 plus years. It's still there today. And so basically what I'm saying is that I know the United States is some place that makes you comfortable and you feel like, you're in your safe haven here, but there's no knowledge here. The people that pretend that they're smart and that they, know everything, they got all that shit from Kemet, from Egypt. They copied all that shit in the earlier centuries, like the 1800s, 1700s. The people that you call the forefathers and stuff like that. That's not my father, but the forefathers. So they call George Washington, Jefferson, all those presidents from the very beginning the of the Declaration of Independence and all of that. They all copied all that shit from Kemet. And what I'm saying is that if they were willing to do that and send people out or venture out in order to study these megalithic structures, in order to understand how blueprints work, in order to put together Masonic organizations, then it was a big reason as to why that had to be done, because there was no originality, before that. So if they were to do it, I don't understand why the average person today wouldn't want to do it. Just because we have cell phones and apps and stuff like that does not make us a highly technical civilization, right? Because in my opinion, I believe that the ancient Comedians at the time, they were using like a source of power, through the pyramids, right? And it goes to show you that how technological they were, being that the stuff that they structured, you know and there's so many different things. We'll get into that in later videos. I'll kind of get into more depth about that. But the United States been here for about 200 years, so it's relatively a new civilization. So all of these people teaching you all of these things, these Western societal narratives, it doesn't make it where that's the end all be all, because you have to remember, if America's only 200 years old, they had to have got information from other places. Kemet backdates 300,000 plus years. So like I said, it doesn't make sense for you to want to just stay here and confide all your energy and all of your knowledge in this one place when this is not the most technological place. China's doing things that are that they know. Japan, like, this is not the only place. The teachers would tell you that shit, and the president, and the government, and these people don't know a goddamn thing. They don't know anything. And if they do know whatever they did, they do know they've copied that shit. They were not original. They're not the originals of any of this shit, because it goes in the fashion of empires. The Kemetic Empire was first. After the Kemetic Empire, after 36 dynasties, came the goddamn Greeks. Greeks copied from the Kemetics, turned it into their shit. After the Greeks came the Romans. The Romans copied after the Greeks. After the Romans, the Arabs came on the scene, and they copied from them. Everybody copied from somebody. So that's what I'm saying. It's very important that you guys get out and see the world, because the oldest megalithic structures have information there, you know, that you probably have no idea about. The history you have no idea about. You only believe what they told you here because it's a narrative. They want you to fit and understand what goes on based on here, but the original information is from outside of here. Go check it out if you guys think that I'm lying. But we'll get more into depth about that, man. They say US is 200 years old. You guys travel, get out, see the world. I plan on, as I build this community up, I would like to, raise money so I could, at some point be able to help send people, to different places around the world. That'd be a great goal of mine. Somewhere around the higher subscriber ship, maybe like about 100,000 or something like that, maybe. Be like, all right, cool. This month we came up with this, man. We're gonna send a couple of people or a few people, to this place, and this, that, and the third. And that's what I would like to do because I want people to understand that there are there's greater education outside of this place. This is, to me, this is just kindergarten, you know, and I just want people to understand that. But appreciate you guys rocking with me. Like and subscribe to this video if this is your first time. There's a small channel, but we plan on doing big things. And remember, the truth is in session. Peace.